Hello to all my friends out there. I thought you guys would like to see some of my flower arrangements. And I just bought most of the flowers at Dollar Tree or Walmart, the 99-cent ones. It's about time for another batch. It really is. Okay, I'm liking the Frugal Life Coach thing because I'm getting the best comments. So I'm going to mention some of them. Rhoda Stone, Frugal Life Coach, video number 4. It's been 4 days. I love it. What I like about the Frugal Life thing is it doesn't box me into one topic. It can be anything, you know. Today I was out very early working on my garden, and it's only been 3 days, and it's looking pretty good out there. And we had rain, and all my plants are so happy. That doesn't mean they're going to survive the gophers. I had gophers, rats, squirrels, and insects, but we have to wait and see. Okay, empty shelves, food spikes, and coffee under lock and key. Yes. Okay, how this started is I went to Dollar Tree and I thought I'm going to get some tea and some of those dollar coffees. And there was no tea and there was no dollar coffees. And the girl told me they're not ordering the tea anymore. The $1.25 boxes. I thought something like this was going to happen. We'll go into that. Why worry about food spikes, Rhoda? Don't worry about it. Okay, we have 2 proxy wars, one on the way. We have trade wars, sanctions, and tariffs. It has been reported that some crops yields are down, beef yields are down, natural disasters, a 7.7 earthquake in Myanmar, Burma, 7.7 floods in Texas. One thing that's kind of interesting about Texas is pretty much flat. And I have been in Texas when the water starts to run, and it was kind of like really scary to me. The Texans don't become alarmed, but I thought it was alarming. And another thing interesting is on the Texas shoreline, the deep waters are very close to the shore, and that's why they have the shark attacks, which is very scary. We have sharks here, but the sharks are way out there, not close. Floods in Texas, Mississippi, and New Orleans. So, I mean, not worrying sick, but there was a good comment that said some of my content was repetitious, and I thought that too, but I thought it's more important to have a complete topic because there's more people out there that haven't seen my videos than people who have. But if it's repetition at the bottom, it keeps track of the time and there's a red dot, so just move it past the boring part. Okay, we have the Depression, 1929 through 1941, job loss, punctuated by job loss, food shortage, famines, and disasters, power outages, water contamination. That's always a possibility here because the Tijuana sewage, plus there's a lot of sewage in the oceans that people don't talk about, like medical waste. Where do you think they put it? They don't burn it all, but they do burn a lot, and that's disgusting. But you got to do something with it. Water contaminations, grand solar minimum, toxic chemicals in air. That's why I buy my drinking water. Wars, rumors of wars, floods, 1/3 of the animals will die. When the farm animals dies, there's less food. In the Egyptian, it was a judgment. The domestic animals died. The beasts and the fishes, 1/3 of the vessels. So like if we see a massive amount of vessels like go down, that's a sign the end is near. Disease, mostly caused by filthy conditions. In a lot of these countries that have these large populations compacted into small areas, the water issue is a big deal. I had customers that worked overseas, like in Japan, and the water purification is a big deal. Large amounts of people in a small area. That's also a good way to get disease, because they're all packed in tight. Animal and human clones. So what's bad about that is we don't know exactly what that's going to bring us, you know. And then they have children with 100% humans, and so you might think, well, it's like a clone. That's true, but we really don't know. A lot of people say, well, the clones are not like 100% authentic, so it's easier for a devil to occupy a clone, or channeling of a clone. And then babies and small children, AI enhanced. So if you're on your device a lot, I mean, like in my case, I could be on my my phone on the AI for hours and hours at a time. So it's not that I'm being enhanced, but it's definitely, it's like cause and effect. We're not sure what the effect is going to be, but there is an effect. Okay, so I wanted to mention that. Okay, so my only idea this morning was to go and get another one of these $1.25 coffees. I don't know. There wasn't any. So what? There's actually 4 Dollar Trees. Now these are for an emergency. $4 Dollar Tree. So I'm going to try to pick up a couple. Then that's when I found out that they're not carrying these teas anymore. So when I find these, it's 100 bags for $1.25. If I find them, I will buy 3, because that's about enough tea. I want plenty of tea, because you know I'm going to be eating my gourmet coffee cakes. So that's what started it. So I want to mention, so I'm going to be making bread, because when it comes to food shortage, we don't want to mess around with bread. We don't. So now I'm doing the life extension diet because I'm 70 years old and I want to stay alive and I want to stay healthy. So I make myself do this. In other words, you have seafood 7 times a week. Well, I have found it is easier to eat 1/2 can of 1/2 can sardines every day, a little bit, than 5 whole ounces. Sardines 4 times a day, salmon once, and I got the good salmon, I gave you guys the salmon spread. Non-vertebrate seafood once, and any kind of fish once. Eat calf's liver once a week. So far I have eaten no calf's liver. Once or twice a week have beets, beet juice, or borscht. That's not hard. Once or twice a week. Once or twice a week have a side dish of lentils, peas, lima beans, and soybeans. So I mentioned to you, if you buy the complete mixed vegetables, there are peas and lima beans in those. But I'm stockpiling cans of lima beans and peas each day. This is each and every day. Asparagus, radishes. So I got the big radishes when I found them for $1 a bag. Onions, scallions, mushrooms, spinach, cauliflower, and celery. And I always have celery. Each day, take a strong multivitamin, any meal. When you buy them, ask for therapeutic. So I found these at Walmart. Reasonable. Each day, drink 2 glasses of milk, preferably skimmed. Each day, drink a glass of fruit juice or vegetable juice. That one, I'm not being good. I'm not eating any fruit. Each day, drink at least 4 glasses of water. So this is going to make me live. So a lot of my followers are old. I did get a man. Hello. So that was exciting. So that has a lot to do with what I do. So this is what, I didn't know what I was going to do today. It just kind of evolved. So the Augustus Caesar diet is rustic bread with pine nuts, cheese, small fishes, and figs. So I made myself some Dollar Tree, you know, make hay while the sun shines. I do have another box in there, so I made some tea. But what I have in my refrigerator is some milk. Okay, so tea is always tea with milk or coffee with cream. I don't know why. That's just the way it is. So what I have in my refrigerator, I have a lot of food. This is some milk that resulted from my butter making. So that'll be good in my tea. And I'll get some good nutrition too. Okay, so bread, pine nuts, cheese, fishes, and figs. So that kept him healthy. A lot of times they say Augustus Caesar wouldn't eat when he went to the feast because he had already eaten this. So I have come up with sardines, mackerel, salmon, and tuna. Okay, so I went to Dollar Tree. I couldn't get any coffee or tea. That is so good. That's not a, now you know how I break all my stuff. Okay, so I thought, okay, I already alerted you guys and thus alerted myself. They're saying watch out for pasta, and it all has to do with flour. So I mentioned to you Dollar Tree has these pastas. This is a lot of, this is thin spaghetti, 20 ounces, over a pound. This one is 20 ounces, over a pound. I guess they usually be 16 ounces. So I bought, I mean, I can eat any kind of pasta. I prefer these penny pastas when I make spaghetti bakes, but if I want to make Alfredo or something like that, or I make chili spaghetti, I just make the spaghetti, I pour chili and a lot of cheese, and that's good. All right, then I bought, they have told us the cows didn't give us as much milk because it was hot. So Dollar Tree only had one of these. I usually buy 10, so I bought the one they had. And that works good in anything. And then they said, watch out for pancake syrup. Notice how kind of light the pancake syrup is. I thought, don't be picky. Just buy one while you can still get it for $1.25. Another thing they've done is made the containers really, really tiny. And then I bought some ketchup because they said, watch out, people, tomatoes. It's the weather that has, I had a terrible time. I could barely grow any tomatoes. Well, I had a squirrel. I had a squirrel eating them faster than I can generate them, and I thought it was a little bit heartless to try and poison a squirrel. That seems like, I don't know what I'm going to do this year. Maybe I'm going to sprinkle the pesticide on it before they start eating. I don't know. I'll cross that bridge when I get some tomatoes. And then, now these cans of mackerel are very, very tiny. Like, how many ounces is this? 10 ounces. So I think it was 16 ounces. But I bought one of these, so if you take off the skin, I don't eat skin and bones generally. I mean, even the sardines, if they have really big bones, I take them out. I have found something, I had a good comment on sardines. I'll give it to you at the end. But I make this like tuna salad with mayonnaise and pickles, and then you mix saltine crackers crumbled up. So this is a big meal for $1.25. Let's see. Okay, so that is all. I wanted to buy pecans, you know, in the $1.25 package. They didn't have those. They didn't have walnuts. I think people are hoarding. I'm not hoarding, but if I didn't have it much food, I would hoard. Definitely, of course. Oh, this is what I really want to get too. This is one of those things that just couldn't wait any longer. I broke all my plates, so I bought 4 of these. These are good enough for now. I like to buy really good plates at the thrift stores, and I couldn't find any. And they also have some salad plates, but they only had 3 of the ones I like, and I thought, since you're on the search for the coffee and tea, maybe you can find 4 plates. Okay, so that was Dollar Tree, $12.68, but that was counting the plates. Then I went to Smart and Final, and I thought, I'm going to buy some coffee because I need coffee for my gourmet cookies and my gourmet coffee cake. So I went to look at it, and it was all locked up. You know, like they locked the cosmetics and the baby formula. And I looked at it, and it was very high. I figured I could get it cheaper at Walmart, and I did, so I didn't get that. But I did get a couple things. So one of the things I want every month is a big bag of fruit and a big bag of nuts. So this is a good price, $10. $10.99. So I thought, I'm going to buy this now because I want. And then pine nuts are horribly expensive, but I will be putting pine nuts in my bread and sesame streets on my bread. $10. And I was very late, so that's all I could get. Then I went to Walmart, and I thought, you know, the one thing, okay, so if you're doing the Julius Caesar meal plan, one thing you need is bread. That's not something. So I bought 25 pounds of flour, $11.84. Beans, this many beans is up over $20. And they're saying sweet treats are going up. We'll go into that in a minute. So my grandmother used to keep all of her flour in a metal trash can. But I'm just going to buy a big plastic trash can and keep it in there because I don't want anything getting in my flour. I don't have to worry too much about, you know, the flour, because that I'm just buying the flour year by year. Okay, so then I was at Walmart, and this is one of the cheapest prices, $7.24. So I have 2 of the small. You guys, if you're a coffee drinker, grab some instant coffee. It's better than nothing. So I bought this. The gourmet cooking, this is only the beginning. The AI has created a monster. So and then I bought, before this goes up, they've told us. So the tea comes out of India, a lot of it. So, and there's tea in China, but if something happens to the crop, then they might not export it, or the tariffs might not help us. But I am trying to grow my mint plant, so that is what I bought. Sardines, mackerel, salmon, and tuna. Okay, so now they've told us the high demand foods are meat, rice, and pasta, and the pasta is a flour and egg containing product, so you know that's going to go up. How long these $1.25? I think this is good durum wheat. Let me see. enriched semolina wheat and durum flour. So, you know, it's a good product. But how long are we going to be able to get that? Also, they're saying watch out for a price spike in rice. So I have quite a bit of rice, but I might buy another 5 pounds. And then potatoes and beans. I have plenty of beans. So I'm going through, do I have this? Do I have that? Potatoes. The last batch of potatoes I bought were really good. Okay, milk, we know that. I was fortunate that I got the box of milk for $5. Maize and corn, so I want to stock up on some cans of corn. Soybeans. I try to grow those and I can't get any more seeds. Eggs, the chicken eggs are getting very expensive. Grains, bread, and yeast. So we need yeast and flour. So I will be stocking up. I'm going through my food storage and I'm looking how much yeast do I have. They're saying these spikes are going to hit in April. Cereals, I buy those marked down, and seafood. The only seafood I really buy is cans of like tuna. Oh, and they're saying, oh, you know what the problem is the aluminum cans. Well, the aluminum foil that was $1.25 at Walmart for 40 feet is now $1.75. So I'm noticing price spikes and missing stuff like tea and coffee. People could have hoarded that up. Tea, coffee, chocolate, and cola. Okay, you know the bars of chocolate, there was none of those at Dollar Tree. And cola, they have the cans 4 for $1.25, but there's no diet. Okay, so now think about back when. That's going to help us in our stockpiling. Wheat, barley, and rye. So I bought the Rye Crisp crackers. The first one I bought was Rye Crisp. These are like bread, but they're crackers, but I found sourdough and multi-grain. So those are good for eating little fishes, but not as good as the good bread with like the Harvati and Del cheese and the sardines, and you broil it. That is not bad. The only reason I didn't eat it today is because I had made the 3 hot dogs and the hamburger patty, and I still have some of that left. Wheat, barley, rye, porridge. I just count oatmeal, peas, beans. So I'll be stockpiling split peas and cans of peas, beans, leeks. Oh, someone made mention that they were going to try the leek soup. Fish and meat. So a long time ago, like in 1000 AD, these were either the foods they grew or they caught. All right, I want to talk about the sweet treats. Okay, I was by a Starbucks. You know, I made the chocolate chip cookie, gourmet chocolate chip cookies. Let's see if I can find it. But anyway, what I did is, it's in here in this freezer of mine somewhere. I don't know where. I have half a batch of gourmet cookies. I made the gourmet coffee cake. So one chocolate chip gourmet at Starbucks is $3.25. One piece of coffee cake, this is what got me making the coffee cake, was $4.25. The soda drinks at McDonald's are $2.59. But in a lot of the McDonald's, they're over $3. And I thought, are you going to keep doing this? And I thought, no, I am not going to do this. So think about it. You go out and you buy yourself a coffee cake and a coffee, and it's $10. And then you say you can't afford a bag of pecans. I mentioned to you guys my friend who was so broke, and they would go out to IHOP. The reason I say they is she would generously take her friends, and I go, they're not your friends. They know you're poor. But you have to think about your money as What am I trading for this? Remember the box of milk? That was 2 of those for $10. If you're poor and you're on a fixed income, here's something I bought a while back. If you have this and you run out of milk, you can mix 1/3 cup coffee creamer and a cup of milk. I think 1/4 would be fine. I think I bought 2 of these, thank God. These are not too expensive now. Someone said it's not real dairy. That might be true. So now we're moving towards fruity and floral and spicy food, and honey is making a big comeback. So one of the things I'm probably going to buy are those spicy ramens that I bought. They are a lot better. I don't know if it's just trending or just tastes a lot better to me. And of course they're charging more. So now here's some stuff we might go short on. Bacon and cheese. So okay, I am making some cheese and I want to show you guys. All this is, remember I bought the buttermilk? You just heat it and it curdles all by itself. So let me get right. So you have your rustic bread. You have bread. It doesn't have to be rustic bread, but once you learn how to make it. Okay, so I just heated it. So I bought this purposely. And the thing about this is then you have your whey for your bread making. That's 2 cups. So let's see how much cheese. You can leave it the way it is and just have cottage cheese. This is made quite a bit. The whey is really good hot. You can just drink it. Let me see. Yeah, I remember when I make it, you can make your own buttermilk. Just add, all right, now let me put the whey back in here because I want to heat that. Okay, you can salt your cheese if you want to, but I don't want to. Okay, so here is what, this is great cottage cheese and it's cheaper. And so what you can do is just wait around. So you have bread, you have cheese. This is storable in your stockpile. And you have your figs or dry fruit like raisins. So all you want to do is just form this into a little ball. And you can eat this right now if you want to, or you can let it set in the refrigerator and then you can slice it. So you have your bread, you have your cheese, you have your fishes, you broil it. So this is why some people are going to be so much better than others to face what's coming. What's coming is a recession. So this is March, this is the end of the first quarter, and they might start admitting it's a recession. Bacon, cheese, check. Milk, check about the box. But if I didn't find it on sale, I would just buy a $10 bagger box. Butter, you saw I made the butter out of the heavy cream. So as of now, here's the heavy cream. Here's the butter. You know, I heard a lot of the carnivores were eating butter. If you do want to eat butter, if you make your own, I don't see why it's got to be solidified butter. And here's the sour cream I made. So you're going to have sour cream. So actually this has lasted, I think I still have 2 cups in here. This is 8 cups, so this is about $1 a cup. And this was $4. So this is about $1 a cup. All right, I want to give you the sour cream. You can make this with margarine. Okay, the way I do it is 1 1/4 cup milk, and I heat it to almost a boil, and I add a teaspoon of salt. And then when it's hot, I add 2 tablespoons vinegar, and then I let it curdle. Then I remove the curdles and I put them in the blender, and I add about 2 tablespoons of butter. It calls for more, and 2 spoons of sour cream. So you make your sour cream, you make your butter, and then you just blend it and you refrigerate it, and you're gonna have cream cheese, and you're gonna have cheese. Especially if you're older. A lot of older people, they go, well, I can do without that. Yeah, well, you can do without it, but it's not necessary. Okay, bacon, cheese, milk, butter, potatoes. I put a check by them. I consider potatoes and beans. I always tell my son, if you ever have to eat beans, God forbid, like if we lose all the money or something happens, make sure you have potatoes. Sugar. I think I just bought this, but I'll probably buy, how many pounds is this? 4 pounds. See, they shaved off 1 pound. I'll buy at least 1 more of these. I have a little sugar around. I want to use that up. So, okay, I'm bringing that to a boil. A large bag of nuts, a large bag of dry fruit, raisins, apricots, and figs. I want to show you one of the best deals I bought. It was Aldi's. This is a cheap way to do it. So if you go this way, it was $5.96. You have raisins, you have nuts, and you have chocolate. But I ate all the chocolate. You could use that to make some gourmet cookies. Okay, see how this is boiling? So what I want to do is dip my cheese. This is going to set my cheese. Let it drain, and you do that a couple times. And then pancake syrup. So the dry fruit would be raisins. I have some grapes, but it's just a few. But I wanted to make some raisins. Homemade raisins are so much better. That's why I'm trying to grow my grapevines. I might try to make some stuffed grape leaves, maybe. I usually just dip it about 2 times and then save your way. And tomorrow I'm going to be making my good bread. Maybe I'll put a little bit on the top. Think about the olden days, people did this and they were little better off than cavemen. Now think about this. They're telling us toilet paper, paper towels, dish detergent, and laundry detergent, and the plastic bottles that the water comes in. There's going to be a shortage, so save all your water bottles. All right, let me give you a shot of this so you can hit pause and or take a screenshot. I do screenshots myself. All right, there's 2 kinds of consumers. The ones with money and the ones that know this. There's 2 kinds of consumers. One buys now and one buys later. So you think, well, I'm just going to cut down. And so they're saying, oh, hurt me. What are you going to do? Drink tap water, feed your babies tap water. They're all saying, watch out for baby formula again. What I think it is the food is going where the markets will pay the most. If that place is another country, a big country that starts with a C, what do you think? And they're willing to pay more. What do you think is going to happen to us? We're going to pay more here. That keeps the price up there, and it keeps the price up here. This is what you call the worldwide markets. So we have to adjust to that fact. So heavy cream, sour cream, cream cheese, and butter. Check, check, check. We know we just buy heavy cream and buttermilk. Evaporated milk works good too. So just keep pressing it. It doesn't have to be perfect. So can you see how this is going to be nourishing for you on your bread with your sardines? You can put some salt and pepper. So, and save your waste. So tomorrow is about time for me to make another loaf of bread. I have a good video. I already gave her a shout out. You don't have to, if I shout out your channel, you don't have to shout me out back. Midlife, prime of midlife, time to increase my preps. So she made a good point. She went through her food storage and she found she could use a couple things, and she was mentioning one of the things that they had been using was corned beef. Out here, you know, you can't. So I just refrigerate this, and then tomorrow I have whey for my bread making and cheese for my sardines. And the sardines, I go heavy on the cheese and half a can of sardines because I still don't love them yet. All right. So go to time to increase my preps, prime of midlife. Okay, now for the good comments. So the good comments were good, and I laughed really when I was reading the comments because I thought, how did you know it was all the things I was already thinking? Someone made a comment that my blue eyeshadow was dated. I know that, but if I wait for like permed hair and blue eyeshadow with tans and white lipstick to come back, I'm going to be dead. So that was a good comment. Another one was your necklace, which is this medallion, doesn't really go with your blouse. This thing doesn't go with anything. It looks terrible. So I wear it a lot. I just wear it inside because it honestly doesn't. So that was a good comment. Go with anything. Okay. All right. This is a good one. This is Jeritta, Jeritta. Publix is cheaper than Walmart. Okay, we don't have a Publix, but if we did, I'd go there. Okay, here's the good. I'm going to try this. This was a good one. Susie 9342, tartar sauce on crushed sardines. Anything that helps, because I'm going to be eating them. I think a lot of most disease comes on slowly. Okay, and then serpentine, CERENDPITY, Serpentity Sue 3255 made a comment about the lady who was catfished by a romance scammer and in Las Vegas, and she said the lady was catfished. Honestly, you know, that had some crazy guy tried to do that to me, and that is why I have a hard time. So like I was messing around with the guy and really started getting really rude and obnoxious, and so then I was really rude, and I go, you don't write good English. I think you're from Africa. You're a romance scammer. And this went on, and finally I go, okay, he's obviously not in love with me at first sight, but I loved it. But I mean, that is bad news when one of these. What I can't understand is, like, this reminds me, you go out on a date and they forgot their wallet. Stuff like that. Okay, I want to mention about Ralph Lauren. Okay, this is a Ralph Lauren bracelet that I bought a long time ago. And Ralph Lauren is luxury. I didn't know that. Know that Ralph Lauren is bona fide luxury. So that's possible. I can't find it often, but I can find it. Pat Beth, I think $11 General has a $1 aisle, and she got chips there. So if you have, we don't have a Dollar General. And then Granny Prepper, this was a good one, 82, says she buys 2 blocks of cheese at a time. So that was a good comment, because like in my case, sometimes I don't know, you know, how much, like, okay, I know, so now I know 2 blocks of cheese, I know 3 gallons dish soap and 3 of the large detergents. You can buy those now, and toilet paper but they don't always have it, at Dollar Tree for $5. So here's some nice stuff. The thing is that's nice about this, you can just take some out and eat it, like with your sardines with cheese. Okay. Well, I'll see you tomorrow. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Oh, and I'm working on the kitchen, so today I got the plates. I worked on the garden. I'm working on my wardrobe. I'm working on the food storage, and I'm doing it all little by little by little. And while I do it, I'm listening to audiobooks. So I'm listening to Gone with the Wind audiobook. The person's reading the book, and I'm thinking to myself, this is really getting this is really getting on my nerves. So I just listen to a little bit at a time. Maybe I can find the movie. So anyway, they say if you want to get into a really good mood, listen to the music. Okay, as your life coach, listen to the music when you were young, and that really works. But if you listen to like books you used to read or movies you used to love, sometimes that doesn't work. But I figure I'm going to push. I figure maybe I've been messed up by the AI. You know, we want instant gratification. Just tell me the gist of it. All right, I'll see you tomorrow. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to leave the comments, because what I want is not only I'm going to read them, but all my followers are going to read them too. And, you know, I can't shout out every single comment, but there wasn't a comment on there that wasn't really, really good. And some of them were really, really good. So I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. I'll let you get a shot of my flowers. That's fun. You should take that up.